Moving to the next module, that is component communication with inputs. Since we are working with a component hierarchy of parent and child components, we need a way to pass data between them. To send data from a parent component down to a child component, we use input signals. The golden rule is data down, events up. Here is a fundamental principle in component-based architecture. Data flows down and events always flow up. Why is this rule so important? Because it makes our application predictable and maintainable. When data flows in one direction from top to bottom and events flow in the opposite direction from bottom to top, we create a clear, traceable flow of information. This means when it comes to predictability, we always know where the data originates and how it moves through the application. With respect to debugging, when something goes wrong, you can quickly point which component is creating or modifying the state. To practice signal inputs, rather than following the trivial example here, let's continue the refactoring process from the previous example. Let's create one more component called recipe detail component, which holds the responsibility of displaying a single recipe from the recipe list component. The parent is the list component and child is the detail component. We should pass one input signal property from parent to child, and using that, the details should be shown. This time, the detail component should manage the servings count. The functionality remains the same, but recipe list handles managing the recipes and which one is active, whereas detail component displays the details of a single recipe and manage its own servings count. Now we are moving closer to real-world scenarios where we start building a feature and it reaches a point where it's time to break that into a dedicated component. Our recipe list has reached that point now. Let's start by scaffolding a new recipe detail component. So in the terminal, let's do nggc recipe-detail, which basically means, hey Angular, please generate a new component called recipe detail. Let's hit enter. Let it scaffold the folder along with the files. Jumping back to the IDE, I can see that there is a recipe-detail folder with all the 4 files. Let's keep the recipe list and the recipe detail.ts side by side. I know that the recipe is for the recipe list, so this need not be moved. Servings should be moved to the detail because that is a part of the requirement. Let's import the signal from the Angular core. Let's also move the adjusted ingredients from here to here and import the computed. Recipe should come as an input signal. So let's do recipe equal to input. Since this is a mandatory thing that needs to be passed from parent to child, let's do input dot required. And let's input the same from Angular core. And this should be of type recipe model, so that TypeScript is happy. The servings also should be a part of detail. So let's move that here. Let's close this. Let's go to the recipe-list.ts. Let's cut everything here. Move to the recipe detail HTML. Replace that, paste it here. There is no error here, so we are good. Go to recipe detail. Take the recipe detail component. Go to recipe-list. Register the same here. Import so that we can use the app-recipe-detail. in the recipe-list component, and we need to pass an input called recipe that needs to be passed like this. Let's jump back to the web view. Let's refresh it once. Is it working? Yes. Can I move to the next recipe? Yes. Can I move to the previous one? Yes. But there is one small subtle bug that I can see. When we move from recipe to recipe, the moment I change the ingredients and move back to the previous recipe, the ingredient is not resetting. Let's see if this is getting called out by the AI tutor. Let me go back to the Gemini terminal and say done. Surprisingly, no, it did not catch the bug. At least that is a bug for me. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comment sections below. I understand that this practice session was about using input signal, and yes, we did use them, but logic wise, just because I increased the servings of one ingredient, the other one should not have changed. We will discuss more on that in a future video, but I just want the audience to be aware of this. We did good with whatever we know and learned till this point, but we need to learn a few more pieces like services and dependency injection concepts to fully implement them the right way. We'll get there, but for the time being, let's move to the next module, that is styling. In Angular, all components have scoped styling. So styles applied to one component won't accidentally affect the other components. There is an app level style sheet by the name of styles.css. So if we have common styles, we can put it there, and if we have component specific styles, we can use the components style sheets. Functionality is one aspect, but unless we have a slick user interface that is visually appealing and responsive enough to work on all devices and browsers, it will be hard to get a customer base unless what we build is something like an internal dashboard to be used by a limited set of people. Since this playlist is not about a full-fledged CSS discussion including layouts, flexbox, grids, etc., I have prepared some CSS styles for you. Check the description for a link to it, and once we add the same to respective components, here I have added in recipe detail.css and used the classes in the recipe detail.html. Similarly, recipe list has got some styles, and I have used these classes within the recipe list component. Once that is done, the UI should look something like this. It looks way better than what we had before, for sure. Right now, if you are thinking, hey, we just copy pasted some CSS, what did we really learn here? Fair point. Here is the key takeaway that is easy to miss. The concept we learn here is component style scoping. If we go to the Elements tab and inspect any element, we will notice something interesting. There are these random unique strings attached to our CSS selectors and HTML elements. Angular is automatically generating a unique identifier for each component and applying it to both the component's HTML elements as well as component's CSS selectors. This is called view encapsulation or style scoping. Why does it matter? In traditional web development, CSS is global. Styles defined anywhere can affect elements anywhere else on the page. This leads to naming conflicts, specificity issues, and unpredictable styling bugs as the app grows. Angular solved this problem by scoping the styles to their component. The bottom line, we can confidently use simple semantic class names like header, button, container, etc. without worrying about accidentally overriding the styles in other components. Each component is its own styling island. This is component-based architecture working at the CSS level, making our styles as modular and maintainable as our TypeScript code. That said, let's run the solution through the Gemini CLI and see what it says. Let's scroll down the CLI and the terminal, let's do done. It says, okay, you have completed module 10. I'll now check the recipe-detail.css. And finally it says, hey, I just noticed that your recipe-detail.html template hasn't been updated to use the new CSS classes. For the styles to take effect, you need to add the div wrappers and apply the corresponding classes to your HTML elements. Could you please update your recipe-detail.html file to incorporate these new classes? Let me know when you have done that. I'll check your work. Alright, let's take a look at the HTML and CSS file to see if something is missing. We have our recipe-detail class, which is applied here. Header is applied here. Recipe image is applied here. Servings section should be somewhere here. Ingredients section should be somewhere here. So I believe all the classes are properly applied. Let me go back to the Gemini CLI and let's see what it says. If you are seeing the styles applied properly, that's great news. I'll quickly check your recipe-detail HTML to confirm that the CSS classes are integrated as intended. Excellent. Recipe-detail.html is now perfectly structured to leverage the CSS you wrote in recipe-detail.css. Styles are correctly integrated and your component looks much more organized and professional. You have successfully completed module 10, styling the components, demonstrating a strong understanding of the visual hierarchy, layout, and white space. That's it for this video. Moving to module 11, where we discuss more on conditional rendering and looping over collections. If you have enjoyed the series till this point and are yet to subscribe to the channel, I humbly request you to show your support by subscribing to the channel and dropping your valuable comments and constructive criticisms. The next few modules are bigger ones and so are the concepts behind them. I will do my level best to break them down and explain. See you soon. Thank you and bye-bye.